The next speaker is Doug Daniels. He is the CEO of Stroma. Please welcome Doug Daniels.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Doug Daniels, and I'm the CEO of the Stroma Medical Corporation of Laguna Beach, California. And Stroma has designed, developed, and patented a new system to change the color of people's eyes. So what we do is we move from dark eye color to light. And unlike any other companies in the ophthalmic space where the paradigm is basically to change the way that you see the world, Stroma changes the way that the world sees you. Now, from my presentation today, what I'd like to cover is a basic outline on our corporation, what we do and how we do it. I want to talk about the market demand for eye color change. I'm also going to tell you how we actually go about changing the color of people's eyes safely and effectively. I want to talk a little bit about the competition in the market right now. And we'll talk about the benefits that the Stroma system has over the existing competition. We'll talk through some of our initial animal, scientific, and clinical work. We'll go through a brief business rollout, followed by a look at our P&L, and then some key investor considerations for investing in this technology. Now, the mission of Stroma is to be the leader in the design, development, and manufacture of a state-of-the-art treatment system to safely and effectively create natural eye color. Now, what this technology is all about is creating options, the options to choose the color of your eyes. We have a very seasoned management team. I have over 35 years in the medical device business. Greg Homer is the founder of Stroma. Greg's background is he's a JD PhD. He was a Stanford law professor, and he's been a prolific inventor. Don Robinson leads the charge on the manufacturing side, and Don is the head of R&D and manufacturing right now. And Jesse Buck is one of the leading optical engineers in the world. The addressable market for this technology is really the 25 million people who wear colored contact lenses today. And really it's more than that. It's the dark-eyed individuals who are 20 to 50 years old with the appropriate resources who have a desire to have their eye color changed. The customers that we'll be selling to at this point are refractive surgeons or ophthalmic surgeons, where you see a great market opportunity. Now, is eye color really important? This is a picture of Cameron Diaz, and as you can clearly see, she's a beautiful woman. And one of the things that really makes her attractive is the color of her eyes. Let's take and change the color of her eyes and notice how much of a difference it makes in the way that she appears. Now, is there a big market for eye color change? Well, the first evidence that there is the color contact market itself. There's over 25 million people who wear colored contact lenses right now. It's also the fastest growing area in the contact business today. We've also done primary market research, which in 2 studies with over 400 patients, we found that about 17% of all dark-eyed individuals have a desire to have their eye color changed and would do the procedure today if it was available. An additional 35% of those people said that they would have it done if it was found to be safe and effective. So there's a big market opportunity. We've also had a viral response. We've been on ABC, CBS, NBC, Telemundo, Azteca. Virtually every network in the world has had a special or had a news segment on the Stroma Corporation. And the reason why is because it's so different. It's such an unusual technology. Now, what that's led to is on our own website, we've had over 325,000 individual requests to have this procedure done already. In addition, there's other technology that we see out there that won't necessarily be as safe in iris implants. But we see that a lot of people are still demanding that the technology, that eye color change, still be available to them. And we also see that there's a trend in the market. The trend in the market on the aesthetics side in particular is that we move from temporary solutions to permanent solutions. Here's just a couple of examples. Historically, things like toupees moving to hair replacement, padded bras moving to breast augmentation, girdles to liposuction, teeth whitening to teeth veneers, glasses to LASIK, and finally, color contact lenses, moving now to Stroma. The reason I put this slide up is just to show you the relative cost to each of the procedures. And right now we're projecting that our procedure is going to cost roughly $5,200 to the average patient to have the procedure done. Now, how does this translate to a market opportunity? First of all, for our customer base, the ophthalmic surgeons, it translates to nearly a $9 billion market opportunity on an annualized basis. For the company, we get approximately $1,250 click fee, which then translates to a market opportunity for the company of over $2.9 billion. So there's a sizable market opportunity. We see that there's a real demand for this procedure to be done, and we hope to be able to take advantage of it. Now, just a couple of quick items. First of all, how do we go about creating eye color change? Well, everyone in this room has blue eye color. You don't know it, but it's because a lot of times it's buried underneath the melanin in the anterior portion of the iris. And that portion is located right here, and it's simply one cell level thick. If we remove that level, and we can remove that level with our laser, what happens is we create a natural looking blue eye. Now, here's an example of how an actual eye looks when it has sectoral heterochromia. And what this shows us is that there's a portion of the eye, when it has pigment on it, that shows as a brown color eye. In the bottom portion of this eye, we see that the color is missing, the melanocytes are missing. So what it does is it produces a clear blue eye color. Now there's 4 key elements in our system. Our system is a laser-based system. We use an eye mapping system to start off with. We use a computer program to actually track exactly where the procedure should be done on the iris. And then finally there is a software-based system that allows us to do the procedure very efficiently. Now, the procedure as it's done right now is a seated procedure. It takes roughly 20 seconds to do per eye. And what we do is we actually map out the eye, and this is an example of an actual example of an eye. And this happens to be a dark eye. With many dark-eyed individuals, it's virtually impossible to see where the pupil lies. So what we do is we use infrared scanning. We map out the eye, and then the physician can basically stay away from the areas that could potentially cause trouble. For example, shooting a laser into the pupil wouldn't be a good idea. So what we do is we try to avoid all those areas that are potential problem areas, and we want to make sure that by using an eye map, we can pretty much determine the exact spherical shape that the laser is going to be taking and removing the individual pigment from the eye. And again, what we do is we use a map to start off with. After we've done the map, we then use the laser in a pulse form. If the eye moves at all, left, right, back and forth, we have an active tracking system which will automatically track the eye so it never leaves the eye at any point in time. If you're too far out of the range, then the system would virtually shut off. And again, it's all part of the safety features that we've built into this technology. One of the key aspects of our technology is the way that our laser beam operates. And our laser beam is such that it doesn't just work in a straight line like most lasers do. We actually bend the beam so that the only place that it actually impacts is the very front of the eye. If this technology, God forbid, happened to be shown right directly into an eye, it still would do no damage. The amount of energy that's generated in the front of the iris versus the back of the iris is about 1/1000th. Now, our market competition today is the color contact lens market. And the other portion of the market is iris implants, which are actually implanted directly into the iris, a very invasive procedure. One that many people have told us, many ophthalmic surgeons have told us, requires rapid explants. Now, how do we stack up against the color contact lens? Well, first of all, the color contact lens is unnatural. It requires daily care. It's not permanent. There's the infections and corneal abrasions that do occur with contact lenses, and it really doesn't provide good night vision. What Stroma does is we provide a natural dark to light color change. We're used in a single treatment. It's permanent. We've seen no adverse effects in our first 17 patients studied over 2 years, and there's no impact on vision or corneal clouding. And the cost over a period of time is actually beneficial to use the Stroma-based procedure. Now, safety is the most important aspect of this procedure for us. We study each of the patients in 15 specific areas, including the corneal clouding, visual acuity, and glaucoma. And one of the interesting things that we found in our study was that we actually reduce IOP over a very short period of time, which pretty much mirrors what's done right now with SLT lasers in order to treat patients with glaucoma. So what we're seeing is that there's a significant benefit to the technology above and beyond eye color change. Today, the company is going through its final design changes. We're now going through a verification process for the software and for the hardware for the device itself. We're finalizing the manufacturing details and moving it to an OEM vendor. And we're in process right now of completing our phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials. We project that we'll be able to launch our technology or launch the technology in Europe by the end of this year, starting off with our initial market test. And by 2015, we plan on launching this technology on a global front, generating revenue of close to $26 million in our first real year. Now, that seems like an awful lot of money, but really when you look at the number of doctors that have to be converted in order to do that, we're really talking about a handful of doctors. For the most part, each doctor that we have could and should generate as much as $1 million per site. For the physicians, generating approximately 30 cases per week, they can generate nearly $5 million in revenue for themselves. So we think that there are some significant drivers right now in the marketplace. We know that the laser procedure is flattening out and going down, so refractive surgeons are looking for new opportunities, and this is one of those opportunities that's going to give them the rare opportunity to really grow their businesses. Today we're seeking out approximately $2.4 million in a convertible debt round. We've raised $2 million to date, so in other words, we need approximately $400,000 to complete our phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials. We think that this technology is going to be to the point where we can produce a cosmetically appealing blue eye while maintaining the safety profile that we have at this point. The company has medical advisors that are second to none in the ophthalmic space, and we also have business advisors that are outstanding, including Andy Corley at Peterson and Dave Moeller. One of the really exciting aspects of this technology is some of the early exits that we've seen in the ophthalmic space, ranging between $300 and $800 million pre-revenue companies. So we think that Stroma is going to fit into that category of high-value exits. Possible suitors for this are going to be AMO, Bausch & Lomb, Allergan, Alcon, and then some of the companies also in the cosmetic space, such as Cynosure, Syneron, and Cutera. The financing right now, we're raising $2.4 million. The round is going to be priced at the Series B. This round is going to convert over to the Series B at a 20% discount. The note's going to receive an 8% interest on an annual basis. And right now, as I've said, we've already raised $2 million of that round with $400,000 to follow. In addition, by the end of this year, it's our plan to raise our Series B round of financing. We're raising $13.5 million. That's going to be to complete the clinical trials, gain the approvals that we need in Europe and South America, and basically achieve profitability. So overall, the company has a world-class medical and business advisory group. We've got a best-in-class laser engineering and software talent in our team. We've demonstrated safety in our animals and human trials. We've got a highly desired outcome with market demand worldwide. We've got large markets with outstanding intellectual property on the part of the company. The company has 2 patents that have been issued already and 8 PCTs which have been filed. We've got a clear clinical and regulatory strategy outside of the U.S. It's a great fit for the ophthalmic infrastructure. We have positive economic incentives for rapid growth within the marketplace. We've got favorable terms for early investors, and we've got a great opportunity for a positive exit with a high return on your investment. Thank you very much.